Hey, welcome back. I just beat that boss, so I guess I'm good. Did I want to talk about the Kenneth Copeland guy? I don't know. I did pull up a video, but it's 5 minutes long. You guys have seen that video, right? Where he talks about why he needs a private jet. Is that worth watching? I liked watching the Joel Osteen video. What? What's happening?
Brother Copeland, I was flying home from a meeting, and I had come out of a glorious meeting. I had just finished, me and Creflo Dollar were preaching. Had a glorious meeting. So I was, for lack of a better way to say it, I was spiritually high. People were saved, touched, and blessed. Got in the plane that God so graciously gave us. We're flying home. As I was going home, the Lord, real quickly, he said, "Jesse, do you like your plane?" I thought that's an odd statement. I said, "Well, certainly, Lord." He said, "Do you really like it?" And I thought, "Well, yes, Lord." Then he said this, "So that's it?" I didn't know how to handle it for me. I went, "What?" He said, "You're going to let your faith stagnate?" And when he said that, that shocked me. I went, "Whoa, wait." I literally unbuckled my seatbelt, my plane, I stood up. My pilot looked at me and said, "Do you need something?" I said, No, I'm talking to God right now. He went back to flying. I said, "Lord, I don't think I was letting my faith stagnate." He said, "So this is all I could ever do." I said, you're trying to tell me something." He said, "Go to the book of Amos." So if you're at the book of Amos, I want to read the scripture.
May I interrupt you?
Yes, sir.
You couldn't have done that on an airliner.
No, sir. No way.
Stand up and say, "What'd you say, Lord?"
No.
Okay, no, yeah. And the guy said,
Am I just watching this? Yes. This is interesting.
This is so important. And those of you that are just now coming into these things.
It is. I mean, if you are a Christian, you would think, "Oh yeah, God is trying to tell you something." But I wonder what does he think he's trying to tell him?
In the first place, Jesse and I and others, Keith Moore and Creflo and all of us, the world
Can I
is
buy
in
anything?
such a shape. We can't get there without this.
That's right.
We've got to have this. We would have the mess that the airlines are in today. I would have to stop. I'm being very conservative. At least 75 to 80, more like 90% of what we're doing, because you can't get there from here.
It's impossible.
Can't get there from here.
And this was such a good illustration. The Lord impressed me. That's why we're on that airplane. We can talk to God. When I was flying, Robert, Brother Deweese, my boss.
I want to hear what he has to say about Amos. What does it say in Amos?
He said, "Now, Kenneth, this is sanctuary. It protects the anointing on Brother Roberts." And he said, "You keep your mouth shut. Don't talk to him unless he talks. Because when he's on a meeting, he doesn't talk to anybody but God." Now, Oral used to fly airlines. But even back there then, man, it got to the place where it was agitating his spirit. People coming up to him. He had become famous, and they wanted him to pray for him and all that. You can't.
Agitating his spirit.
This dope-filled world. Right. Get in a long
Land's
with
End?
a bunch of demons.
Exactly.
And it's deadly.
And it works on you hard. It really does.
So anyway, I wanted to make that clear so the devil can't lie to you and say, "See
This
that
Kenneth
bring
Copeland
all
guy.
that money just-
He looks like the devil. People have made that joke before.
I could scratch my flying itch with my little single engine open cockpit airplane.
Right.
I just come home, fly around in that, and scratch my flying itch. That doesn't have nothing to do with that. But we're in soul business here.
Right.
We got a dying world around us. We got a dying nation around us.
That's right.
And we can't even get there over there.
Let me give you an example before I read the scripture. Some people say, "Why
Dying
do you need
nation.
an
You can't get to
About a couple of weeks
where?
ago,
Where can't you
I was
get on a
in
plane?
On a Friday night and a Saturday, I was in Fort Worth preaching for Jerry Savelle. Sunday morning, I was in Boston, Massachusetts. Monday, I was in New Orleans. Tuesday, I was in Chicago. Wednesday, I was in Raleigh, North Carolina. Thursday, I was in New Orleans. Friday, I was in San Antonio, Texas. Saturday, I was in New Orleans. Sunday, I was in another city. I actually have a Delta captain that lives close to my house. I wrote him that schedule. I said, "Can you fly this?" He said, "No," and I wouldn't. When do you sleep? We're about to fly
On the
this-
airplane.
On the airplane. God is speaking this to me. He said, so this is all I could ever do. And I'm thinking, in myself, well, yeah, this is a phenomenal aircraft you've given us. He said, then when he said, you're going to let your faith stagnate, now that caught my attention. When God tells you your faith stagnate, you better start listening. Yeah. And I thought, stagnate?
You can't stay here.
Yeah.
You gotta do this, or you're gonna do this.
He said this, you're on cruise control. You're moving, but no longer by your power.
I need 2 planes.
See, that's what the DVD is about. That's what that DVD is about. He said you're moving, but no longer by your power. You see, you're just doing this. Now watch this scripture. Now, I gotta stop on the first word. Amos chapter 6, verse 1.
Ah, that's what I wanted to know. What's the verse? Amos chapter 6, verse 1. You don't have to go back to the Old Testament. Jesus talked a lot about money. Okay. Woe to them that are at ease in Zion and trust in the mountain. What kind of Samaria was... That you get dangerous when you're talking about like interpreting the Bible that much. Okay, that was bad. Well, I shouldn't have done that. You can watch that video, and it's pretty famous. Them trying to justify the jet, and I've already talked about this a lot. Oops, I didn't get any pick-me-ups, did I? Whoops. Whatever. I don't think I saved either. So he was saying he was traveling to a different city every day, and he couldn't do that on a regular flight. I guess that's true. I guess that's not as hard to justify as owning a mansion. Because if you're saying, well, I only use it for the church stuff, and we go to a bunch of different places every day, you could say the fact that when they say God gave me the plane, that bothers me, because God doesn't do stuff like that, right? He doesn't give you a plane. If God wants his word to get around to places, he doesn't need you. He could do it. He's gonna do it how he's gonna do it. Do you think he's giving you a plane? If he could sell that plane and help feed people, wouldn't that be better? I don't know. Isn't that a better way to spread the word than just for you to go to someplace and be like preaching to people who already believe in God? No, give your money to poor people and say, God gave you this food. This is from God. He wants you to live. And be like, oh, this God guy might be pretty cool. Maybe I'll become a Christian. Because he saved my life, pretty much. I'd be dead if the church didn't feed me. Or do you really need to travel around to all these different cities and to preach to people who will already believe what you're telling them? He was like, oh, I went to Chicago and I went to St. Louis. Why were they saying, well, you can't get to St. Louis in the... Yes, you can. It'll take you an extra day. So you have to take a day off. Give all your money away. That's it. Just give it all away. Okay. Net worth $300 million. Jeez. Who has that? Kenneth Copeland. This will be the last day I talk about this, but it doesn't matter because nobody watched the first day I did it. Wait, what's happening? Maybe I should do that Geno boost thing. Well, I go to church a lot, and they always... Sometimes they have a hard time asking for money, which is good. They should always have a hard time asking for money. Obviously, they should never make you feel guilty about it. It's hard because they're asking, give money to me, like, so that I can have a job and I can have a house. It's always the pastor. The pastor gets paid by the church, so he's kind of biased, you know. But if you are a good pastor, you have to have faith. The church that I'm at now, the guy, he seems pretty good. Like, I don't know. Like, he does have faith. Like, he's not super rich, so obviously he's like, well, God will provide for us, and I don't know. I don't know, it's hard, because I think if you really do look at the Bible, God doesn't really say... I mean, he does say, like, look at the birds, and I give them food, so I'll give you food, but he doesn't really... He's like, your life's gonna be hard, and look at Job. I just did that to him for kicks. Imagine what I'll do to you. Like, I'll kill you. I don't care. I'll kill your kids. I'll kill your wife. They'll die. It's gonna happen sometimes. And are you ready for that? I don't owe you anything. I'll make you sick. I guess that's not really how you're supposed to look at it. God doesn't make you sick, but he kind of does. It's hard to like God when you think about it that way. But I do resent him a little bit for that. That he could not make people sick if he wanted to, but he makes us sick to help us get through life. And he kills people and takes people away to make us stronger, I guess. That's annoying. But he could... I don't know. I guess you're supposed to say, well, I'm not God, so I don't know what he's doing. But you do think, well, my whole thing that I've always thought, and I still kind of think this way. I mentioned it once before on this channel, I think. There's too much pain in the world. If there's enough pain where anybody is killing themselves, I think the God of the universe has to re-examine his pain slider. Like, when I created the universe, did I create too much pain? Maybe. If people are killing themselves, like, oh, I can't take this. That's too much. And he could fix that if he wanted to. But he didn't do it. So I don't know. What do I believe? Do I believe he's coming back? Oh no. Do I believe God is really all-powerful and he could change everything if he wanted to? Or do I even believe God exists? Or do I believe God just created the universe and he's just kind of like a scientist and he's like, oh, maybe I made some mistakes, but I may have gone a little bit too far in some places, but well, what are you gonna do? You can't make a universe without breaking a couple people's will to live. Am I supposed to even be fighting this guy? I don't know. What is this thing? What is this thing? Woe to them that are at ease in Zion, and trust in the mountain of Samaria. How did he get from there to it's okay that I have a jet. Don't let your faith stagnate. I really thought he was gonna say, well, God thinks I should buy 2 jets. He said, don't let your faith stagnate. Buy that 2nd jet. I know there are people starving, but you gotta be able to fly twice as fast. Jinx. What am I doing with this? I don't even know I'm supposed to fight this guy. Bean Valley. Maybe not. No, I'm supposed to go to Nimbus Land. I don't even know what I'm doing. Oh god. When was the last time I saved? I guess I'll just use up all my mushrooms and... Oh boy, this is bad. Yep, he's dead. Shouldn't be wasting my mushrooms on him anyway. I'm not using a max mushroom. I did buy a lot of mushrooms, which I'm now wasting. Triple kick. What's that? Oop. I did say that's some kind of a store, didn't I? Get those freebies. Okay, I'm just gonna end there, and I'll just fight this guy off screen and see what happens. Okay. Any megachurch people watching? I hope you learned a valuable lesson the past 2 days. I'll pull a Lindsey Graham and say, if I ever get in a situation where I run a megachurch, you can use my words against me, and I own a mansion and I'm justifying it. You can use this tape against me, and you'd be absolutely right. Does it seem like it's always... I'm not gonna say it. Okay. Yeah, use this against me. If I ever have a mansion, use this tape against me, and you'd be absolutely right. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye.